Hello. As I'm making this video today, the wind is howling outside and we're given to saying things like, oh, it's just like Siberia out there. I've never actually been to Siberia, but I have got Russian dolls and they have inspired this week's video. So as we know, our Russian dolls get smaller and smaller, and of course can be lots and lots of different designs. These are very traditional ones. And we're going to turn our Russian dolls into these cards. So there's lots of different designs and we've got quite a lot to do. So we're going to be on the top down camera for quite a lot of it so that we can see what we're going to do. But before we go down there, I'm going to tell you what you're going to need. So you're going to need a whole world of felt tip pens today of differing types and colours, because we want this to look really bright and colourful. So lots and lots of felt tip pens. You can use acrylic paints as well, which I have done on, which one's acrylic paints? This one. So if you want to get your acrylic paints out, absolutely fine. Felt tip pens, absolutely fine. We want it nice and colourful. We're obviously going to need card blanks. Because they're colourful themselves, I actually prefer doing it on a white background like these ones, but it's up to you, some card. We're also going to need some scraps of card to create the actual dolls and things like that. Those little foam pads can also be used, and a little bit of ribbon as well. Now we don't have to do this on all of them, so if you only have the simplest equipment, do it, but I'll show you. These ones, you know those ones you get on like a cardigan that really annoy you when you cut them out? They're ideal, perfect little ribbon things, doesn't really matter what colour. Okay, we're definitely going to need scissors for the majority of it, but for this one it's really only works if you have a craft knife and cutting that. So if you don't and you don't want to, then you can do the other ones, but a craft knife will definitely help. Okay, so I will see you down on the top down camera because we've got a lot of different designs to get through today, and I'll see you later. Okay, so the first one that we're going to do is the simplest one here, with just our dollies stuck in a row. So we need to make a template first of all, 3 templates in fact. So we need to have a big doll, a medium doll and a small doll, and obviously like the real ones you could keep going forever making them bigger and bigger and smaller to fit your card, but we're just going to go with 3, which gives them that idea. Now in order to make a template you want it to be symmetrical, so what we're going to do is fold a piece of paper in half and then create this shape. So if you just pause there and have a look, it will take you a little while to be happy with the shape that you're making like that. Now I know you're going to ask me, so I'm gonna tell you, even though I think it's better to do this by eye. My big dolly is 8.5 centimeters tall. My medium doll is 7 centimeters tall, and my little doll is 5 centimeters. So that's what I've got with that, but you need it to fit on your card. So that's what you're doing, just adjust them. Spend some time making that template because you're going to use it again and again and again. I've made hundreds of these cards and I've kept these 3 as the templates the whole time. I've done this on cardboard box, cereal box cards, so it's really stiff so that I can use it again and again. The reason I've written template is to stop me drawing on it by mistake. But it was the draw half of it, cut it out. And then we've got our 3. Now, the first and simplest thing when we have this card is we're just going to stick them in a row. But obviously, they're only going to look good if they're coloured beautifully, aren't they? And drawn nicely. So that's what I'm just going to show you how to do now. So I've had some fun recently with this stuff, which is gilding paper. And it's a sticker, so it's not quite as complicated as the proper gilding. It's like faux gilding, and it's a sticker, and you peel it off. So on these 3 dolls here, I've put the gilding in different places. So this one has it in the middle, this one has a sharper bit like this one has it around the head. Obviously I could have done the shoulders as well for seeing it like that. So I'm going to just have a little experiment around and use those ones as well to show you. But I'm going to show you on the big one how we're going to draw it. So the first thing we're going to do is draw a line across the top here. Then we're going to put a circle face in here. Now, if you want to draw around a circle, find something the right size, or you can just approximate your circle. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're then going to make the knot of the scarf that they've got around their head, like that. And then we're going to do the shawl, giving ourselves a nice space in here for a design. If I just show you one of my actual Russian dolls in here, so this is the original proper Russian doll. You can see she has her circle face and this bit. Now she has arms and a different kind of thing, so I've stylized it up, but the bit that you're looking here is this, isn't it, the picture on there. Of course these are 3D, so her shawl is around the back and I've brought that forward so that we can see it. Okay, so that is what you're going to do, and then you're going to draw that on each one. On the smaller one, sometimes I've just slightly simplified it by making a different centre there, but you know, it's up to you to do whichever you want. So just that simple drawing. Then we're going to colour them in, and you can paint them. So these ones have been acrylic painted, which took some weighting in between, and these ones have been felt tipped. It's nice to draw a design in this section here, because that is what, sorry, I'm just going to cough. Terribly sorry. Okay, so this is what our Russian dolls have. So you can just keep a really, really simple flower design. And I've got a nice bright colours here with the red and the yellow contrasting, and now I've got a little pink. We can also outline everything to make it really stand out. Now I'm going to put pictures of all of my Russian doll cards onto Instagram, so you need to find it on there if you want to have a look at these designs in more detail. So I know quite a lot of you like copying the exact designs that I do, and that's fine, but we haven't got time on the video to do all of this. So find them and copy in your own time. And so we're going to add different little bits like that. I've already drawn a very pale pink colour here, and obviously you could do that any colour that you wanted for your for the face. Now we can use our dotting tool to do the faces. If you're one of my dotters, you might recognise the little mouth on there, which is one of those tiny hearts that we've done. So if you're a dotter, you could do that. But if you don't feel confident, remember you can always do this for the eyes. You can always do it as a smaller kind of thing like that. You can just do a little O for the mouth if you want to. And they look nice with their cheeks as well. It's obviously cold in Russia, so we need our cheeks like that. They also have some hair that we can just see poking out if you want to. Of course, the hair's optional on the little one when we don't get there. But that's a really, really simple face. You do not have to be fantastic at drawing. This girl has slightly more stylized eyes, slightly bigger mouth. You decide what you want. Again, you can close up a bit more on those ones. So they're all like coloured in and looking nice and bright. To stick them here, just to add a bit of interest, you could stick them down with glue stick, totally. But if I just hold that slightly on the side, if you can see, they're a tiny bit 3D sticking forward. And I've used those sticky foam pads underneath. You could use sticky foam pads on the first one and then not on the second one, or like 2 sticky foam pads on top of each other so that they have this one sticking out further than this one, than this one. They're quite fiddly, those foam pads. So, you know, if you can't be bothered, just stick them out. But 1, 2, 3, and that makes a lovely card just like that on its own. But we also have some slightly more complicated cards as well. So this one is card number 2. And here, our Russian dolly mummy, her baby is inside her tummy. So this time they're covered up like it's inside. So to make this one, what we need is to get our card and draw around the larger of our templates. So we get the large one, put it down and draw around it. Now if you don't have a craft knife, you can cut this out with scissors and then you wouldn't have the middle bit perfect, and that's fine. But if you have a craft knife and you cut round carefully, and here's one I made earlier because it's difficult to use a craft knife when you're on the camera, just in case you slip, and I know no one wants to watch me bleed for the next few minutes. So we're just going to take this off, and then this perfect one could be used for that first one, or indeed the one we're about to do in a second. So we've got a nice perfect one, and then we would make sure we've got all our edges neat and draw around the inside of this. So I'm going to draw now using this as my template with my pencil, and then when I open to the inside I will have my perfectly sized doll in there. I can see that I've missed a bit there, haven't I? So I'm just going to come back and draw that along. Okay, you're then going to colour that one in as well, just like we just did. That will now be on the inside of our card. And I've gone around the edges, we've got little scallop edges here and everything. So then we've got our doll like that. We're then going to get our little one. I've got hundreds of them all over the place here now. We're going to get our little one here and have that all drawn nicely. So I'll just give her a little face so that she's going to have a smiley face because she's happily in her mum's tummy. Hasn't got any hair yet because she's a baby. And then we're going to get our ribbon. Okay, so make sure that the ribbon will fit across, so it's longer either side, you know, than the doll opening, and give it a cut. And then we're going to stick this on the back of our doll equally there. So we'll get just some sellotape is actually the most efficient way of doing it. Just going to use a tiny bit of washi tape just so you can see it, but you're better off using sellotape so that you can't. This is just purely so that you can see it on there. So I'm going to stick that down like that. We've now got the other side here, and we're going to stick this down, but you have to be a little bit careful working out exactly where that bit goes, because if I just stick it down now and then turn it over for you. So again, I'm just going to use the washi, but you're perfectly good to use sellotape that won't show up so much. When you turn that over, sometimes it's perfectly in the middle there, and sometimes it's fallen over. So just readjust it a little bit to make sure that your doll is happily sitting there like that and not obscuring mum's face by being right up there in the middle, or hanging down too low, or too much flipping forwards when the card is open. So just rearrange that a little bit before you do it. And then we'll have mummy doll and baby doll looking really good like that, obviously with that one decorated, and then when it opens up. Yes, you're not going to be getting a giant message in there, but you know, if it's not writing something enormous, you can just do the writing underneath. And that one looks really nice like that. Okay. Now this next one is also the one that absolutely essentially uses our craft knife. You can't do this with scissors. It has to be like that, and our card stands up as you saw at the beginning. And what you need to do with this one is you need to get the card, but this time, instead of coming down at the bottom, open your card out, and this line here is the fold of the card. We're then going to get our templates on and make sure that they are going down in order like that. I can't find my baby template, so I'm just going to use another white one there as we're going down, with their heads sticking up. So their bottoms are in line a little bit and their heads are sticking over the fold. You're then going to use your craft knife, because both bits have to be perfect here, to cut around these bits so that when you then fold it out, you get that effect. where the little dollies are sitting above. You can then decorate them, and in this case I actually stuck a little extra one right on top because I felt like having 4 on this one. So we then decorate them and colour them in. Now on this one I cut the bottom bit of the card off, and it was a thin card, and I would just do that. Again, you're not fitting much inside to write, but you could also use this section underneath. You could use your washi tape which we had on the other video a few weeks ago, to make a little decoration under the bottom there. Just having trouble peeling that one off. So you could stick your washi tape along like that, and it's going to look really nice. Or you could use some calligraphy underneath. So if you wanted to write yourself a bigger and better message there, you could do. But your dolls just look a little bit different stood up like that. Okay, now our last card here with our Russian dolls would be a lovely one because it's interactive to play with, because we can actually take our dolls out of here like this, and then we can put them back in again to play with as they're coming out. And again, you could go for any size that you want. For this one, we're going to use a slightly different template. So we're going to get a bit of scrap card and use our largest one to draw around. But instead of doing this sort of very pointy bottom that we have here, we're going to carry on and make this go a bit straighter, because otherwise you just can't fit that other one in. So you're going to end up with your Russian doll, your big one, looking a little bit more like that, a little bit wider along the bottom. Okay, so when you've cut that out, you're going to have that sort of a shape. So our original one was like that, a little bit sexier. This one, a little bit wider. Not that wide isn't sexy, of course. Then we're going to get a piece of scrap card. Approximate about halfway up where you think that body's going to be, and draw around it. We're then going to carry it on the 2 sides like that and cut it out. So we've got little space either side. It's about between 2 and 3 centimetres on the other side. We're then going to fix these 2 together. So I've folded where those lines were, and now just check that that fits on there quite snugly. Fold it around the back like that and secure that with a little piece of sellotape. I didn't secure the bottom of it. If I take this one out, you can see that if I kept pushing, it does actually come out the bottom. I tried sticking along here, but it's quite difficult to get a bit of glue under there that would work. Actually, it's pretty tight when it's inside there. And so unless you actually forcibly keep pushing it through there, and you're just a little bit gentler, you don't need it. You don't need it to be like that. You need to draw your one first, then stick that together, then carry on the pattern so that it looks exactly the same. So you need to stick your little piece of card on and then colour it on the back, then carry that on the same way so that it's exactly the same. You're then going to do the same thing for the medium doll as well, so that our little doll will fit inside, and then our big doll will fit inside as well. Don't worry about their faces being obscured this time, because this is obvious that we are going to play with this one and that we can take it out. So this is a really nice little interactive one for us to play with. So we have all those things that we can do with Russian dolls, just stuck together, piled up, or a dolly in the tummy. All with just our 3 templates, gorgeous ones. I'm just having a little play here with this one, because it's lots of fun, isn't it? So whether you've made a playing interactive one where you can take your little dollies out and play with them, whether you've made one of these, they can be used for loads of occasions and lots of fun. I'll see you soon for more crafts.